Harmony. It's nice to meet you. I am Tessa. Your husband Chris is always being nice to me and helping me out with things, you know? Nice to meet you, Tessa. I'm not sure I know a Tessa. Who are you exactly? Oh, no one important, really. Just Chris's girlfriend. Excuse me? Me and Chris have been dating for a year now. You do know he doesn't love you anymore, don't you, honey? Why don't you just break up with him? Who'd want to stay in a loveless relationship like yours? Or are you scared of being alone? Is that it? Tragic. What the hell is this crap all of a sudden? Face it, your relationship's been dead in the water for months now. I find the fact that you guys didn't break up yet totally baffling. Oh wait, could it be because you have a kid together? Who do you think you are, messaging me out of the blue with all this stuff? Who do you think you are? None of this is any of your business. This is between me and Chris, and we'll discuss anything that needs to be discussed as a couple. I'm messaging you because Chris feels trapped and needed help to escape from your psycho clutches, you big dumb moron. Do you understand your position? What makes you think you get to tell me what to do? You're nothing but his lover. All you need to do is pay me the huge sum in compensation you're gonna owe me when I'm done speaking to my lawyer. You've got some nerve coming at me like this out of nowhere with your crazy demands. Exactly, which means all I have to do for this to be over is pay the compensation. We'll be done after that, right? Chris and I have been doing some serious thinking about our future. If paying you to go away is what it takes for us to be together, then it's a small price to pay. Is that so? Oh, by the way, honey, I think maybe you already knew this, but me and Chris are together right now. He fell asleep after eating my home-cooked meal made with love, care, and affection. Now he's passed out on the sofa with the biggest, happiest, cheesiest grin on his face. How are you even messaging me? Did you get my number off his phone while he slept or something? Chris always hated having his phone looked at, you know. Do you really think you have the right to go sneaking around behind his back like this? Don't worry, I get a pass. He told me there's no place he can feel comfortable and relaxed when he's there in that house with you. Apparently being here with me and my delicious food and messages is the only time he can decompress and be free of his cares and worries. So hurry up and break up with him so we can all be done with this. I don't need to hear any of this crap from you. You go poking your nose in where it's not welcome about things you don't understand, and you actually expect me to take you seriously? I know much more than you think I do, girl. For example, how you've done nothing but turn Chris down lately when it comes to steamy fun time between the sheets, right? You're supposed to be a married couple, but you can't even do the bare minimum in fulfilling your natural obligations as a wife? That poor man. It was only a matter of time before he cheated with you, treating him like that. You do realize this is all your fault, right? I don't have to listen to this. I'll talk to Chris about it later. Don't talk like that, Harmony. We're all in this together. Me and you are in the same position here, after all. We both want what's right for Chris, don't we? Me and you in the same position? You're making me want to vomit. Take that back. Oh, my poor baby. You're right. How could I have been so foolish? Okay, I take it back. Chris hates you so much, he can't even bear to be in the same room with you, but he's madly in love with me. You're absolutely right. Our positions couldn't be any more different. You're trying to start a fight with the wrong person here, you know? If you want to say something to anyone, then it should be my husband. Of course I say things to your husband. I say all sorts of things to him when the two of us are alone in bed, dearie. But he did tell me you're frigid, so it's not like I'm lying. Did he really? Yes, so hurry the hell up and break up with him so he can finally be free of you. I know it'll be painful to let go given how possessive and neurotic you are, but you don't have to worry one bit, because with me by his side, he's going to be the happiest man on earth. That's some serious self-confidence you've got there. It's not like it's without good reason. He's really happy now, after all. There is the small issue of you guys having a daughter together, though. He told me about her the other day. Just make sure you don't give him custody of her, okay, honey? Chris and I will be making some babies of our own, so your little brat won't be needed. Don't worry, he definitely won't be getting custody of our daughter. Thank God for that. I'll be sending him home to get everything over with you tomorrow, so make sure you're ready to break up with him when he arrives. Harmony, are you going to hurry up and file for the divorce or what? You move slower than paint dries. You again? Seriously? What am I supposed to do? I'm obviously going to message you if you won't divorce him. I have circumstances of my own to deal with. Circumstances? Like what? Having no money? If it's the compensation, Chris said he's willing to pay whatever you claim from us. My circumstances are none of your business. Oh, yes, they are. I'm Chris's girlfriend. How could whatever's stopping you divorcing him and having him all to myself not be my business? I think you mean his lover. That might be what you call it from your position as a sad, jilted, jealous, bitter onlooker. But to me and Chris, who are head over heels in love with each other, we're boyfriend and girlfriend in every real sense of the word. Is that so? By the way, what do you think me and Chris are doing right now? I don't care. You say that, but I bet your imagination's running wild, isn't it? Okay, since you're raring to know, I'll tell you. Are you ready? Here it is. Me and Chris are taking a bath together. Isn't his habit of washing himself from the bottoms of his feet upwards cute? I have never known a guy who does this. Oh, wait, you did know about it, didn't you? You did used to take long romantic soaks in the tub together back when he didn't hate you, right? Is this why you messaged me? Wait a sec, Harmony, you're not feeling jealousy right now, are you? It would be super ironic if you were, 'cause you're the one who was cold and hostile towards him all the time. You have no right to feel like that after all this time. If you didn't want to lose him, maybe you shouldn't have driven him straight into my arms. I have nothing to say to you, Tessa. You are nothing to me. In that case, hurry up and get out of that house and let's all move on from this shit show. That's my plan, whether you tell me to or not, so you can keep your orders to yourself, thanks. I'm giving you orders because I don't believe you. Chris has money after all, right? To a broke loser like you, he was the perfect husband. That's why you've been unable to let go of him all this time, right? Wrong. What's more, you have a job, right? I never did understand that. Like, why would you work when Chris made more than enough money to provide for the both of you? I don't know what's getting into women these days. He told me, about how you were neglecting the household. How could you do that to your family when you have an elementary school-age daughter? That poor girl. If I was blessed with a rich husband like that, which I soon will be, I would have quit my job so I could be a stay-at-home housewife and focus on the home. That's great. Feel free to do whatever you like after we're divorced. Hurry up and frickin' divorce him then. I want to tie the knot on our anniversary next month. Is that so? I hope you make it in time. That depends entirely on you, dummy. I already told you Chris is willing to pay whatever you want in compensation, so what else could we possibly do to move things along? We're stuck here waiting for your slowpoke ass to get a move on. Hurry up and divorce him. An ugly cave troll with no reason to exist like you has no right to rob Chris of even another second of his time. You've stolen enough already. You really are crazy about my husband, huh? It's called love, honey. You wouldn't know. Really? I'm pleased my husband found himself a girl like you. Oh, what's this? Is someone bitter? What a sore loser. You're free to interpret it however you want. I will make one thing clear, though. You seem a little worried that I'm not going to divorce him. But I promise you, me and him are done, and we will be going our separate ways soon enough. Yeah, you're repeating yourself now. Just hurry up and get it over and done with so we can be free of you. Soon it'll be my turn to be happy. You, Miss Cave Troll, and your Cave Troll spawn daughter need to get out of that house pronto. Good morning, Harmony. We just registered to get married. All that awaits me and Chris now is a life of love, fulfillment, and happiness.
Bye-bye, Papa.
Huh? Papa?
Papa? Bye-bye.
Wait a sec. Is that Chris's daughter, Mia?
Yep. Say bye-bye to Papa for me, okay?
Oopsie. Sorry I stole your daddy, little girl. But your papa's gonna be real happy from now on, so you don't need to worry about him one bit. One thing's for sure, he'll be 1,000,000 times happier than he ever was with your mommy.
Me and my mommy are the happy ones.
Aw, you're just like her. I see you're a sore little loser, too. I bet you feel super sad and lonely deep down, though, right? It's okay, I understand. But you should know this was all your mommy's fault. She did this.
My mommy didn't do anything wrong. Besides, I'm not sad or lonely at all.
I guess you are still in elementary school. You're probably too young to understand why this is all your mom's fault.
Don't treat me like a kid. I'm in grade 3 already, so I understand plenty. Life's gonna be hard for you from now on, you hag.
Hag? I'm nothing of the sort. I'm a hell of a lot younger than your mother, that's for sure. She's got skin like a leather sofa.
You're still older than me.
Well, sure, of course I am. You're a kid. Whatever. I need you to tell your mom something for me. Can you do that? Tell her your papa just married the love of his life. Besides, your daddy doesn't ever want to see you again, so you better make damn sure you never try to come visit him. Do I make myself clear, you little brat?
Well, I don't want to see him either, so there.
You really are like your mother, you poor thing. My daughter isn't poor, and she doesn't need your sympathy. Oh, are you back, Harmony? Were you so shocked you had to force your kid to reply to me? She picked up my phone and replied of her own accord while I was on the toilet, that's all. But, wow, Tessa, those messages, I am speechless. The fact you think that's any way to speak to a child tells me all I need to know about you. Why? Because I told her her dad never wants to see her again? But it's the truth. What would you do, have me lie? We couldn't have her holding on to false hopes of having a relationship with her dad again and showing up out of the blue. So I figured the kindest thing to do was to give it to her straight. Think about it. You'd be in an awkward spot yourself if she told you she wanted to see him, right? If she wanted to meet her dad, I'd let her. But to be honest, I think she's better off without that lying, cheating lowlife in her life. Your little girl was putting on a brave face just like you. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. A brave face? No, that's what she really thinks. Is it really? I have my doubts. In any case, it's time for me to enjoy my newfound happiness. Thanks for everything, bitch. Charming. If anything, I should be the one thanking you. Huh? I'm really grateful to you, as is my daughter. Thanks to you, she and I can finally be happy. Happy? You're about to plunge into the depths of hell and poverty together. What could possibly be happy about that? The words happiness and single mother household do not go together. I don't know what your definition of happiness is, but me and Mia are very happy right now. Wow, you really are intent on putting on that bold front right until the very end, huh? Pathetic. If you ask me, this is probably the kind of thing Chris doesn't like about you. Listen, babe, I'll tell you what. Here's some advice for free. If you really want to be happy like I am, then you need to start working harder to be loved. My sage words are probably wasted on a beat-up old hag like you, but oh well, I tried. Harmony, you have to help me. I don't know what to do. Huh? Who are you? It's me, Tessa. We were messaging all the time a little while ago. Surely you remember me. Sorry, I deleted all unnecessary contacts, so I don't know who you are. Oh, come on. I know there's no way you'd forget. You know why I'm messaging you like this, don't you? Sorry, I have absolutely no idea. It's about Chris. He was so kind at first, but he turned into a different person as soon as we got married. I barely recognize him now. He even hits me sometimes when he drinks, and that's not all. He's in debt. Yep. I see you finally met my real ex-husband. He always did have a habit of spending twice what he earned. Wait, what? You knew the whole time? Why didn't you tell me? I had no idea he was like this. He's a man with two faces. You're probably better off giving up on him. Believe me, I want to, but he threatened to post naked pictures of me online if I ever leave him. He won't let me stay at my parents'. He won't even let me talk to my friends. I feel so trapped. Oh my God, Harmony, you have to help me. Yep, that sounds about right. With me, he threatened to hurt our daughter if I ever disobeyed him. He only seems like a good guy on the surface. When I told people what he was doing to me, he started spreading rumors that I was mental and needed to be institutionalized. He made everyone think I was crazy. That's who he really is. I can't live like this. When I said I wanted to become a stay-at-home housewife, he punched me in the face. He said I had to work forever. Yep, same here. He was adamant I worked as many jobs as possible because he couldn't keep up with his debt repayments on just his salary alone. As you well know, he's as irresponsible with money as they come. His spending is so out of control, he doesn't stop at the money he owns either. After going into so much debt, the loan shark started refusing him. He started shoplifting and selling the stuff he stole to people on the streets in the rough parts of town. Oh my God, this is why you said you and Mia were happy back when we were messaging before, isn't it? Yep. I was worried you might figure out what I was hinting at back when you saw my daughter's replies and escape while you still had a chance. But it would appear you interpreted it differently and proceeded to march blindly into an abusive relationship with one of the biggest scumbags ever to walk the face of the earth. I can't tell you how grateful I am for freeing me and my daughter from that psycho's clutches. Thanks, Tessa. Thanks to you, me and Mia can finally live in safety with happiness and peace of mind. I don't need a scumbag like that in my life. Oh my God, you guys can have him back. Nope, we don't want him. We are absolutely never having anything to do with him again for as long as we live. I tolerated 10 long years under the same roof as him. Why would I willingly go back to that after finally escaping? I'm so sorry. I was in the wrong all along. I'm sorry for all those arrogant, hurtful things I said to you and your daughter. Please, I'm begging you. You have to help me. I just got married. This should be the happiest time of my life. And yet, here I am in the depths of hell, and you're the only person I can talk to about it. I'm scared, Harmony, so scared. I have no idea what he'll do to me if I try talking to my parents about this, let alone the cops. Scary, isn't it? You understand how I feel, don't you? I know what it feels like to be subjected to Chris's abuse, but I have no idea what made you so desperate to be with a man like him that you were willing to have an affair to obtain him. Plus, I'll never forget the horrible things you said to my daughter. I only said that in self-defense. Besides, it's not like your daughter cared about him, so she wasn't upset at all, right? No harm done. That she wasn't upset isn't the point. The point is that you told her her dad never wanted to see her again precisely because you thought it would upset her. But the truth of it is, we're the ones who never want to see him again. I'm so sorry. I'll apologize to Mia, too. Just give me a chance, please. I need you to help me come up with a way out. Why would I help the woman my husband had an affair with? Because if not for me, you would never have been able to escape. Sure, that may be true, but you still said it was my fault he cheated. You still gave me live updates on the affair to make sure I got hurt as much as possible. You went out of your way to insult, harass, and abuse me at every opportunity. You only have yourself to blame for the mess you're in now. You made your bed, now lie in it. So what are you saying, that I carry on being his slave and human punching bag? I'm sorry to say it, Tessa, but that's what's best for me and my daughter, so yes. Oh my God, you are heartless. You're human trash. So as long as you're all right, that's all that matters, even though I'm in such a desperate situation? I couldn't give a single solitary heck about what happens to the low-life, gutter-crawling whore my husband was screwing behind my back. But I only went with him because he tricked me. I thought you were going to be happy when you married my ex-husband. I thought my daughter and I were going to plunge into the depths of hell together. I thought a single-mother household could never be happy. You did say all those things, didn't you? I take it all back. I was foolish and short-sighted. Please, I'm begging you. If you know of any way I can escape from Chris, I need you to tell me. Let's see. Aha, I know. Maybe if you put up with the abuse for 10 years, he'll get bored of you once you lose your youth and good looks. Just pray that when he does, he'll toss you aside and move on to someone else. Who knows? When you do, you might end up getting a bunch of weird messages from his deranged lover. After that, I blocked Tessa, resolving to put that dark period in my life behind me once and for all. She did message me from another number a few times, begging for help, seemingly genuinely terrified about what my psycho ex-husband might do to her next. But I couldn't risk him getting wind of the fact we'd been messaging each other and come after me again, so I just ignored her. I don't have an ounce of sympathy for Tessa. I have no obligations to help her, and I can't risk that lunatic Chris setting his sights on me again after everything he's put me through during those long 10 years. My ex-husband really is a crafty, evil human being. Something tells me that now that he has Tessa in his clutches, he won't be letting her go for a very, very long time. He owes crazy amounts of money and debt repayments too, so between constantly being forced to work and being abused every time she comes home, far from happiness, a life of misery and despair is all that awaits her. He already forced her to cover all the compensation he owed me, so it seems she really is set to plunge to the depths of financial hell alongside him. As for me and my daughter, we moved out of town immediately after the divorce. Where did we go, you ask? Nuh-uh, that's a secret. But I can assure you it's somewhere Chris will never, ever be able to find us. But just to be safe, I went to the cops with proof of everything he'd done to me and had a restraining order put out against him. I can't tell you how grateful I am that me and my daughter are finally free of his abuse and exploitation. And I'll do everything in my power to ensure that we never have to live that life again. Now, Mia smiles more than ever, and she's loving every single day of her life. I'm committed to making her as happy as possible. And you know what? I have a feeling things can only get better from here on out. She and I are going to make so many fun memories together that, before long, she won't even remember her low-life ex-dad.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
It's been a long time, hasn't it, Sadie? Since yesterday, I was overseas on vacation. I'm sure you'd like a souvenir from me, right?
I can do without one.
Are you sure? I just thought that since you have no money and couldn't go overseas with me, you'd want something that I brought back at least. That way you two can feel like you went overseas with me for a bit.
Thank you for thinking about me. But I'm totally fine without you worrying about me.
You really can't act a little friendly around me, can you? And now that I think about it, are you still going out with that man you had?
I am?
I should have known. Well, you're getting pretty old now, so you should be trying to marry him before it's too late.
Well, I am waiting on that still.
Is he still thinking of becoming a designer? By this time in his life, if he hasn't been able to get where he wants to be, he should just give up, right? And you've been working a lot to try and support the both of you, right? He's pretty much a parasite now. You're better off leaving him, Sadie. You're not getting any younger.
He's doing his best to achieve his dream, and we believe that the both of us can succeed with his dream. So my job for right now is to just keep supporting him.
But if he ends up succeeding, he'll probably just throw you away for a more pretty and young girl. And then you'll be in even deeper waters because you have to start back to square one looking for someone to marry you. Isn't it that you can't carry a child either?
How does that have anything to do with this?
I bet you it does have something to do with everything.
Well, he doesn't really care to have any kids in the future. So that's another reason that he's happy to have found someone like me.
Well, I bet he'll have a change of mind eventually. What's the point of having a malfunctioning wife when there are so many other better women out there?
He's with me because he loves me. But I'm sure that someone that only thinks about herself would never understand that.
You finally broke. You're back to taking cracks at me now, aren't you? In my case, I was waiting around for a real man to find me and make me his wife. But at the age you're at, there aren't going to be any other chances for marriage. I feel bad for you.
What do you mean by a real man? Like a good-looking face or something?
Him having good looks is always going to be number one. But that wouldn't be enough for me to have married him.
Then you were also thinking about his income? After all, your husband is the son of a CEO, right?
Right? He is expected to be the next in line for taking over his dad's company. The family that my husband is from is filled with elites, and they are so well known that even some of their friends are known as celebrities. And now that I'm with him, I've become friends with celebrities myself. That's why you have to make sure the man you choose has a lot of worth.
Seems he's a 1 in a million kind of guy.
And of course, things are going just as planned. All I have to do now is have a son that grows into a success himself, and my life will be perfect.
Don't you have a daughter right now, too?
Well, Isabel's not that great of a kid. She always seems to end up in the middle when it comes to her grades, like B's and C's, and her face isn't all that cute either. I'd say she turned out to be a bit of a failure.
She should be more than perfect to you, though. And to me, I think Isabel is very cute. Although it has been 5 years now since I last saw her.
She's going to be normal like all the other kids, and I don't like that. When it comes to my son, he's turning out to be far superior to her. Not only is he excellent with his studies, but he's also amazing at sports and can play the violin really well. And when talking about his face, you can tell he'll become a stud.
How old are they?
My son is 10 years old now, and my daughter is going on 16, I think.
You don't even remember how old your daughter is?
Well, I don't really care much about her.
Aren't you being a bit rude? I feel really bad for Isabel.
Well, when it comes to my husband and his family, they all pay attention to my son. I guess he's going to inherit the company one day, and so everyone wants to make sure he's perfect.
But these days you shouldn't be looking at your children like that, especially thinking that just because he's a boy, he deserves more of your attention.
But when it comes to succeeding in the business world, men always finish first, right? When I ended up having a girl as my first child, everyone around me was upset.
I see. That must have been tough on you as well then.
When I finally ended up with a son as well, I knew he'd turn into a success. I'm so glad I tried again with my husband, because now I'm very much happy to be in this family.
That's great for you.
I ended up with an elite family, so I'm thinking about you. Really, why did you have to end up the way you are? I bet both mom and dad are looking down right now from heaven and are both very sad.
I'm sure that the both of us live in completely different worlds from each other, so there's no need in saying things like that.
Well, if you start to struggle with money, I hope you don't plan on coming to me for help. Because I haven't even talked with my husband or his parents about you much. You've already done enough to make you an embarrassment for me.
All right. It was my fault for not turning into the older sister you'd hoped I'd be. I'll make sure not to cause you any more harm, Kenzie. 1 month later.
Hey, Sadie. Do you want one of my kids? I'll give you my daughter. You're not even able to give birth, so this is perfect for you, right?
Huh? What are you talking about?
I'm saying that I will give you my kid. And it'll be my daughter that you get. Because I'm keeping my son.
What do you mean by giving her to me? They aren't just some items of yours to give away like that. They're both your children, right?
I know that, but I've come to realize that I don't need my daughter anymore. Actually, that's what was brought up to me, but still.
Who brought that up to you?
Both my husband and his parents.
What?
They told me that women are useless, so we don't need her. And it's not like my daughter is good at anything anyway, and she doesn't do anything around the house either. We see her just living with us as a waste of money, so we want her out of here.
Why are you acting like all of that is okay to do? I mean, what the hell do you guys think of children that makes you act that way?
Really, I'd like just to kick her out of the house right now. But she's still going to school, right? If something were to happen to her out on the streets, we'd be the ones getting questioned. But we can't wait another 2 years for her to graduate, so we want you to have her.
Even if you say something like that with such urgency, I've never taken care of a child before.
You'll be just fine. She's already enough now, where she can do most things on her own. She's able to keep her own schedule and do her own chores and cooking. She's even at the age where she started working on her own part-time job.
Are you the one making her do that? Because normally, it'd be you that makes her dinner and cares for her still.
We don't even let her come to the dinner table to eat with us. And we told her that she needs to do all her laundry and cleaning by herself. She doesn't mean anything to us, so what's the point of us helping her out?
And what about your son?
I'm taking care of all his needs. He's our only priority after all.
What is wrong with you? Your job as their parents is to take care of them so that they can focus on school. And even after graduation, you should still be there as their parents. Yet you're treating Isabel like she's an outsider. That is messed up.
I don't want to hear from someone who doesn't even have kids on her own to raise my children.
But what you're doing right now is not okay.
Well, if you want to complain about it so much, then you can take Isabel and raise her. I'm more than happy letting you experience what it's like to be a mother. I don't want to keep thinking that you understand what it's like to having to take care of someone like her.
But don't you see that what you're saying about your own daughter is horrible? I already knew that you had been a very selfish person before, but now I'm starting to think that you're just completely nuts.
I don't want to hear any more from someone whose whole life has been full with failures. Either way, I'm going to be throwing her anyway, so why don't you just take her away from me?
And you think by doing that everything will go back to being perfect for you? No, let's just stop this already. I can't even begin to understand how you can think like that.
Why are you acting like I'm the idiot here? Unlike me, you have nothing to show for, and no connections to the rich whatsoever.
All right, I'll take Isabel off your hands. I don't want her to experience any more of the horrors you keep subjecting her to.
And you won't have any second thoughts, right?
No, I wasn't planning on having a kid of my own, but now I think I have no other choice.
I had always thought about just giving her away to you from the start, but now I can see that you both will fit perfectly together as dysfunctional women.
But I have one thing to ask, and that's that you will never talk to Isabel ever again. I already know that she's experienced more than enough trauma from you all.
You didn't even have to ask. I was already planning on never caring about her again. I have to start focusing on caring for my son even more, and I don't have the time to be wasting it on some lost cause like her. Just make sure you don't come crying back to me about how much of a defective child she is.
Don't you dare compare me to the likes of you.
By the way, is your boyfriend going to be okay with all of this? You didn't even talk with him, and yet you've already made your choice.
I feel bad for having to do this to him, but I've already decided to take Isabel from you. And if he has something to say about that, then I'll deal with him at that point.
You sure are selfish too.
Of course, right now I am, but I'm sure he'll be able to forgive me for this. I think that he trusts my judgment enough as it is. And when I bring up the situation you've put Isabel into, he'll agree that I've made the right choice. A few years later.
Long time no see, Sadie. I heard everything about that girl.
What do you want from me?
I heard that Isabel was able to find herself a full-time job. And so, I was just wanting to congratulate her on that.
We don't need you to congratulate her on anything. For the longest time now, you've left me alone. So why have you really come back?
Is it that she was able to get into a large company?
That's right. Isabel really worked her butt off to get where she is. She even made sure that when she was in university that she studied abroad for a bit and also did lots of intern programs. Every single day, she was busy working to perfect herself. When she went abroad to study in Europe, she left me at home feeling a bit lonely, but came back with all kinds of experiences. And in the end, she was able to use all of that to get herself into a huge company. She's amazing.
Is that so? She really has become a wonder, huh? Well, I'd like to take her back now then.
What?
If you send her back home, I'll forgive her for everything. So please send her back over to our house right now.
What are you saying, Kinsey? Did you not hear me before? She's found her own job now within a large company.
I've heard you already. She entered a very large company that's based all over the world. And that's why I said what I said. She did turn out to be my husband and my kid. So I'd like her back now so that I can start living with her again.
Are you okay in the head? Right now, she's living with her mother at home.
Uh-huh. But I'm her real mom, right?
You have no right to be calling yourself her mother after all you did. And besides, she considers me her mom, and you nothing more than a bad dream. She doesn't want anything to do with you anymore, and I agree with her.
But I was the one that carried her to childbirth.
And so what, Kenzie? You're also the one that threw her away. And then I took her in and raised her, so I have the right to being her real mother. I'm legally her mother as well.
What do the laws have to do with this? Her and I have the same blood running through us.
I think you're getting things a little confused.
All you've done is raise her for 7 years, and you think that makes you a real mom? I'm not the only one that gave birth to her, but I also raised her for 16 years after that.
But it seems you never did any of it with love. And so, to make up for that loveless life she had growing up with you all, I had to make sure she knew how much she was loved within my house. I may have had to take her when she was already in her mid-teens, but she calls me her mother now. No matter what you say, Isabel and I are mother and daughter.
What makes a defective woman that can't even make a kid of her own think that she can talk to me that way? You didn't even have the money to compete with someone as elite as me. Just because I left her there with you for a little while does not give you any right to think that you're better than me.
Well, even if it's by a little bit, Isabel still thinks of me as more of a mother to her than you. I never once let her feel left out. And never did I compare her to anyone as a way of making her feel bad about herself.
You're going to take a few cracks at me again, huh? I already know that you're still single. I'm even surprised that you were able to get Isabel into a college when you're a single woman with no money.
I've been married.
To that parasite of a man? No way.
He's not a parasite. It's because of him that Isabel and I were able to have this wonderful life.
Did he find a job?
He succeeded. He finally became the designer he'd always dreamed of being. And right now, he's making hundreds of thousands with his work.
Hundreds of thousands?
The reason I chose to stay with him is because I believed he could achieve his dream. But I never thought he'd make it as far as he's come.
There's no way something like that could happen. You're not going to fool me, Sadie.
I'm not trying to fool you, though. Right now, he's being asked to do work for all kinds of brands and is super busy with his work. He's actually so busy right now that I rarely get any chances to see him.
I want to see evidence of this then.
If you just search his name up, you'll be able to see all the evidence you need.
What the hell? You weren't kidding.
I may not have as much money as you guys do, but I can tell you right now that the one thing you kept making fun of is no longer gonna fly.
But a defective wife is still defective, right?
But I was able to raise the girl that you threw away into such an amazing woman. That should make up for not being able to have a baby of my own, right? And I've been wanting to ask this. Why do you think me not being able to have a baby makes me a defective woman? I think that's just you acting like a little brat because you couldn't find anything else wrong with me to make fun of.
You're not able to pass your genes, making you a defective woman. That's what both my husband and his parents have said about you.
And so in other words, you're saying that you can only regurgitate what other people think because you're too brainless to have opinions of your own? Huh. I guess things haven't changed with you over the past 7 years. You did tell me before that him and his parents said women are useless, right? That's your reason for leaving Isabel behind, right?
I'm the wife in the house, so I had no other choice. I can't say no to anything they ask of me.
Oh, stop trying to blame this on both him and his parents and start thinking about all of this with your own head. But maybe you really don't have a brain, and that's why you're willing to do as anyone tells you. Right. Life must be much more relaxing when you don't have to think about anything. It can be relaxing, but you begin to turn into a drone that does as they like.
I just made sure to do my best to make a perfect family. I was able to do way better than you to have a better life more rewarding than yours.
Right. I can agree with you on that. But all that happiness you have relies on the people above you, right? Do you really think you can live life knowing that your happiness is only based on what your husband thinks of you?
Come on, Sadie. I'm just trying to live a life where I'm told that I've done well for everyone.
So then why are you asking for Isabel back when they all told you to kick her out before? There has to be something else to all of this, right?
What are you talking about?
Your father-in-law ended up passing away all of a sudden, right? Your husband was able to take his seat as the CEO, but do the changing in the company's policies things didn't go as planned, right?
What are you on about, Sadie?
I have some friends that know a lot about your husband's company. The fact that the company is on the verge of collapsing and that your son has been doing some not-so-great things there.
Don't say things like that about my husband. And that's my amazing son you're talking about.
Well, I've heard that there's been some problems with your son. He caused some stuff in school and had to drop out, right? Seems that you raising him has ended in failure, right?
I haven't failed him yet. Right now my son is just going through a rebellious phase is all.
Maybe it's because you and your husband catered to his every need so much that he thinks no matter what he does, he can get away with it because you both will forgive him. But I can't blame that on him because it's the fault of those that raised him.
But he should be able to change his attitude here soon. If we only had more money to support him.
And that's the reason you want Isabel back? Well, I'm sorry, but Isabel is working in an office overseas. She made sure to go somewhere that's out of your reach.
Overseas?
I'm not going to tell you what country she's gone off to. So don't even bother trying to use Isabel for your own sakes.
Then, can you at least help us? You have money now, right?
I'm sorry, but I'm also going to be out of this country. My husband has been getting more jobs from Europe recently, so we thought it'd be a lot easier to just live over there. So I will no longer have to see you again.
Wait, Sadie, please don't throw me away right now. We're sisters, right?
Well, in your case, you have that elite family of yours, right? So have them help you with all the money they should have. I'm sure they'll be able to understand what you're all going through right now. And if they don't, they might treat you like the useless woman you are. After that. From that day on, I didn't hear anything else from my sister. I was able to see what looked to be her husband's company going completely bankrupt. And since they won't be able to rely on their son for anything, I'd assumed that the company would be sold off and reformed by someone else. On another note, I've moved to Europe with my husband, and we're both living our best lives. We may be living in a different country than our daughter, but where she's at isn't all that far from us. And compared to being in the US, we're like neighbors. And because of that, we've been able to see her again when she makes her way over to visit. And now she has a man of her own, and will bring him over to see us. I'm looking forward to the day she tells us the big news. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.